Hello, world. This is the Truthfire Journal morning edition, and I have myself, obviously, Niji Coach, a level 53 practitioner in the pilot program. With me, I have
Adymus, level 24 in the practitioner program.
Excelente. We'll be talking about comedy and chess again today. Good stuff. All right, Adymus, let's go and just get right to it. So I thought we would start off with comedy first. All right.
So with comedy first?
Is that cool?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I heard you. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So screen share. And we're, okay, it's not showing the documents I've opened. Should. Okay, let me try it again. Screen share. See, interesting. It's seeing the chess, but it's not seeing the comedy. Why would that be?
Probably because you have one particular document screen shared. If you screen share and then just click full screen or entire screen, then it'll just see whatever you're seeing.
Do you think, oh, okay, I'll just go with entire screen then.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so here we go. So you then are seeing this comedy? Yep. Perfect. Mm-hmm. All right, so I got some interesting ones for you today, Adymus. Some mostly females, but a few males that are interesting. Starting off with a Vaiji. So there's like a small riff of these Vaiji comedians, and he's known, where I found him was he was in Cannonball Run, but actually I think he also did a lot with game show hosting. And there are a few like game show hosts that are very, kind of funny in a way, and they're, it's a very lighthearted kind of Vaiji riff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of a novelty. That's interesting.
It is. There's that crossover, and then there's also a little crossover also with Vaiji. I have another sample later on with special causes, like sometimes like very disenfranchised groups. Sometimes there'll be a Vaiji who's into that, and humor can help when you're that much of like a minority or fringe group. And then the other one I think we've seen is like was it Red Eye? There's sometimes like these journalists that are humorous or do mockery.
Yeah, they do like a quippy sort of thing.
Yeah.
Almost like in the spirit of an ad serve style.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a Colbert or John Oliver.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. What kind of comedian is he?
Well, for comedy, he was listed as a comedian, but I guess he was being funny in Cannonball Run. He was in Cannonball Run, which is a comedy from way back on like the 80s or something. But I think when I actually looked him up, I think more of his work was done as being a, affable, witty host, like game show host.
Oh, okay.
And there's a couple of those. All right. So who's up next? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this guy, Vaiji Drew Drogue, he's gay, and so he kind of puts forward that lifestyle in a way that is meant to, I think, be received well. He knows that he's, putting forward a minority cause that gets a lot of backlash, and I've noticed that there are sometimes that's when they use their knee a lot. I think if you're a Vaiji who is maybe, born into like some legacy family with money and politicians and so forth, then maybe there's not as much push for heavy knee use. But if you're a Vaiji born into a minority group, then maybe, I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe they have to use a lot more knee.
Yeah, actually, that does seem to be a pattern with the gay Vaijis, like Milo Yiannopoulos and Douglas Murray. Both of them are very clever, quick-witted Vaiji.
Oh, okay. So on that, would you consider Douglas Murray to be in this as well? I should add him if you think so. Okay, I'll add him, Douglas Murray.
Oh, like in
this bubble, should we add him, or are you just noting that as a riff? That was
I'd say I'm noting that as a riff. I wouldn't say, even though he is very funny, I don't think I'd put him in the comedy bubble.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think so either, but I was going to defer to you on that one. Okay, cool. All right. Next up. Okay. This old time, old style, Captain Kangaroo. So I knew him from way back in the day. I never really got into the show, but when I was growing up, I mean, kids watched that show. It was like a thing. And I think this is like, I'm curious if they're, you know what it is? Was it Mr. Robinson?
Hmm.
Neighborhood?
Yeah.
He's shiny too.
Yeah. Is it Mr. Robinson or is it Mr. Roberts?
Maybe some, I'm not sure. But anyway, that guy. And then Pee Wee Herman, also shiny. You know what I mean? These kind of quirky kid hosts. So that's a small, but
yeah, shiny. They're really common at kids shows, it seems.
It is.
Yeah.
And then there's this comedic riff within that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next. All right. Getting some ladies now. Nikki Limo. Do you know her?
That face is familiar. Nikki Limo.
I looked her up. She was kind of seemed like maybe she's a vlogger.
Vlogger, huh? Let me quickly look up more photos to see if it rings a bell. Vlog. Okay, I don't think I'm familiar with her.
And then she actually goes on with her partner sometimes, a dude. I'm thinking he might be an IZ. We can look at that real quick later today if we have time.
Sure.
All right. 6. Monroe Martin. So here, it's not a big rip, but there are Genii males. Interesting enough, most of them are African American. Something interesting that's there. I mean, because it seems like it's. I really don't know why that is occurring that way. For example, like with the G alpha females that show up in other things, it surprised me in some way. And then once I realized how much that kind of prototype is, you know, lionized in the African American community, it like, okay, it does make sense. I'm still not quite sure why the few Genii male comedians, and there's Jon Stewart and so forth, but I think we don't have a lot of them, maybe like a dozen. I think like of the dozen, maybe like 9 or 10 of them are African American or African.
Yeah. Is Jon Stewart the only non-African American?
Yeah, I was trying to think of like another one. There may be one other, but all the rest, no.
What about females? How common are Genii female comedians? That's what I haven't.
They're not as common as G by, but they do show up. But again, it is both the G alpha. It heavily kind of skews towards Black and Latino.
Interesting.
All right. So we'll keep tracking that one, Adymus. I think we need a few more samples to get an idea of maybe why that is. All right. I should delete them. Number 7. All right. Nizy Bonnie McFarland. One thing, a lot of these Nizy, the ladies more than men, sometimes the men too also, they use a lot of Jai.
Yeah.
I have to really make sure I don't misread them as Jai.
Yeah, definitely. So do the Xenai comedians.
Yes, both are Deserbs. Yeah, the Xenai can be easily mistaken for an Ijai for that reason. All right. 5 more. I have a dozen for you, Adymus. All right. Number 8. All right, here we go. Xenai.
Xenai.
Classic.
Liz Millie.
Do you know of her at all?
I don't think so. Is she a stand-up comedian?
I believe so. It looks.
Yeah, I haven't seen her before. Interesting.
It didn't have the best media. You can see the picture on the right is a little fuzzy, but she looks pretty classic.
Yeah, she does.
All right. Number 9. Okay, this is Genii female.
Okay, cool. So Genii.
Bam. And I saw her, and one we can look at later again if we have any time left, is her with a Jivi African American female comedian, and with a Jaini African American female comedian, Jessica Williams from The Daily Show.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them are on a couch, and apparently they all have white boyfriends. And so they're doing a little panel funny discussion of bullshit they have to deal with dating a white person.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because it was like they were all African American. They're all dating white dudes, and they're all Jez Alpha.
Jez Alpha, yeah.
They're all comedians.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, a lot of interesting things going on there.
Yeah.
I didn't know of her until I researched it. Do you know of her at all?
No, I've never heard of her.
I think maybe actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she's known for.
Mm-hmm.
Other than she's a comedian. Alrighty, Xeni, bam, classic.
Allison Rosen. Haven't heard of her either.
Yeah, she interesting. You know, on riffing Adymus, you know what's really interesting too is like how when a person's face is in one position, like doing the pout more, she's doing on the left, and the right she's doing with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
It can give a different riff because, like, in the right, she reminds me more of like Ariana Huffington's sister. You know,
oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then on the left, she reminds me more of like Joy Behar or something like that.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
like a radically different. It's interesting, a totally different riff. All right, two more. The Xeni. Actually, no, this I must have done. I didn't do. First a Xeni.
Cool.
Dude, did not have a lot of median on him, but I mean, he looks pretty classic.
Yeah.
That's something interesting too. Is that one thing I have noticed? Xeni males are strong in comedy in general, but you know, in the U.S. comedic scene, they're one of the players, and they don't show up as much as some of the others do.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to do internationally known stand-up comedians, it's interesting. The Xeni shows up more. Still like the ad stars, but the amount of Xeni increases.
Yeah, definitely.
When you go internationals, I'm not quite sure why that is, but
yeah. As soon as you open it up to British comedy,
oh yeah,
you get like a Mr. Bean, for instance, Rowan Atkinson.
Definitely, it does. Yeah. I wonder why. And now, also on that, even in the U.S., for example, is the Xeni show up, you know, strongly in comedy, but not as much as say some others do. But when you switch to vlogging, man, their numbers soar. And I mean, we're talking comedy vlogging. That's usually there's a lot of them. Interesting. Yeah, I guess early on, Adymus will kind of just be like maybe like with our Nye and knee, just noting a lot of these things, and then as we keep working this bubble, we can maybe track some trends that'll help us answer it, and then maybe at the end make some nice assertions based on whatever data we have. Cool. Data, Adymus, research.
Data, big data.
Bam, last one, another Xeni, Liz Traeger. Sure she's a vlogger or stand-up.
Liza Traeger. Lisa. Yeah, a lot of these somewhat obscure comedians that I haven't heard of yet. Do they have ample media?
Some of them had to go with not as much, but that's one of the benefits of doing bubble reading. You have to go slow and take lower hanging fruit, but you can kind of start working off less media. She looks pretty classic to me. I've actually seen a lot of Xeni female comedians that look.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of riffs on Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks.
Yeah. And they do use a lot of Jai, because even here on the left, she's actually on her left. So she's bringing, she's using her Z and her Nai, but she has like a kind of like a Jai, I don't know, kind of soulful. I don't know, softens it somehow. And then on the right, she's actually putting a lot of energy into that Jai lip purse.
Yeah.
All right. So that's 15 minutes there. We can jump now into chess. And if we have time, there are several comedic clips I want to share with you. All right. So let's jump into chess then. So I'll close that out. And chess it is. Here we go. Chess. Can you see this?
Nope.
All right. Now?
Yes.
Bam. All right. So Xeni here, pretty classic. I found the hands helpful.
Yeah.
That was nice to get that in there. That's one thing with chess. Getting media on them can be sometimes challenging for pictures. Even when there's some video on them, when you go to Google Images, a lot of times still it's a little bit limited on that. And they tend to be looking down or the side a lot.
Right.
So I kind of work with that. But he looks pretty classic. All right, let's see how I got here. All right, another Ziny. Again, I was able, the one on the left's a little fuzzy, but I was able to get fingers in there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Another this classic serious chess Ziny.
Indeed. All right. Sinai lady. Do you know her? Was she one you sent?
I don't think I sent her in, but I considered sending her in. Because I felt like I didn't have enough media on her, but if you're using her, then I guess,
yeah, she was
I guess
tough.
you found some, yeah.
I mean, as far as like she wasn't tough. She wasn't tough as far as the media. I mean, I actually found her easy to read. It was hard to get two good pictures, but
yeah,
she looks pretty classic.
Yeah, yeah. When I came across her, I thought she looked pretty classic Xeni too. I only left her out just because I could only find one video.
Gotcha. We'll need more media on samples that are a little more, you know, unusual, but for the classic ones, we can work with less.
Okay.
Classic.
Definitely classic, yeah.
It reminds me of some actor on the left. I don't know who it is. It's something.
It's not Screech, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It'll come to me. Is it? It might be a little bit. I think he's reminding me of that Ziny from Love. I think.
Oh, okay. Which I started watching, by the way.
What's that?
Which I started watching, by the way.
Oh, what do you think?
I'm really into it. I've seen the first in my first sitting. I went through the first 3 episodes. Yeah, I want more now.
Those are like hour shows too.
Yeah, they are.
I keep it. I mean, that's hard to do an hour show of that's funny. All right, next up, number 5, another Ziny, classic, but it's good to get different ethnicities in there. You know, because like he's clearly Asian, but he's also clearly Ziny. I love that.
Yeah. I like that one on the right, the kind of pop up with the dancing eyes.
All right, so we'll keep on cruising here unless something, you know.
A lot of Ziny have that cherubic mouth.
They do. They do. It's very sweet. I like it. I think it's one of the things that makes people just fall in love with Jim Parsons. Bam. And he has a bit more of like a, you know, Hans the terrorist.
yeah.
In an awesome way. You know what I mean? It's working for him. This is good. We're getting some good Ziny action here. Chess isn't a big bubble, but it's been a real earner for us with the Ziny males. All right, a Xeni. They're not, like I said, they're less than the Ziny, but they are showing up fairly regularly now that we're going deep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stark difference, though. You know what I mean? It's like Ziny. Whoa, hello, fella.
Yeah.
Here's something else. All right, another Ziny, classic. I got a little hand action there. And you see the big dancing eye there. I was happy to get a front picture.
Yeah. I think that's so interesting that the Xeni, they're not huge in MMA, but they have a good presence in MMA. Then they're also like in football and hockey and all of these contact sports. And then you have like chess, which is totally cerebral sport. It's like Xeni.
It's still a way to push, I guess, you know.
Yeah. But just like the versatility of the emojis, it's interesting.
Yes, sure.
Or like how those powers can be used.
Yeah, because they're definitely, I mean, they're clearly all trying to perform a similar feat. They're trying to master this board with all these, you know, intricate math equations that go with the way the different pieces move, but they're using different synomnia. It's fascinating. All right, number 9. Bam. So again, pretty classic Ziny, but he's Indian, so that's cool to see. You know, he's Indian, but he's also definitely Ziny, and he has full lips. Those are actually rather, you know, voluptuous lips.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're localized. Now, next up, we got a little bit rare one in there. Bam, Naiji making an
Oh,
appearance.
cool.
We don't show up too often. We're in there.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of a Daniel Radcliffe riff.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And you see the eyes. We know, like, you know, the dancing eyes, the different ways they're being done before. Then all of a sudden, boom, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously the Xenon is different too, but the Naiji is hard to tell apart because it's, you know, elongated too. But the eye,
Yeah. Is Bobby Fischer still
yeah,
designing
still.
Naiji? Okay, yep. So they're in there.
I don't know. I think they're like maybe 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is definitely, in general, a Zine sport. They
Mm-hmm.
rock at this. All right, another Zine. Now he has, he reminds me a little bit. I don't know if you know him. Something Qualls.
DJ Qualls.
Yeah, he's been in a few movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Reminds me
Uh-huh.
a little bit of him.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Mm-hmm.
It's that really lean but still oval face.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit of that, but your cheekbones are a bit more, I would say, rectangular.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But this rip, it's more of like a total oval.
Yeah. Yeah, on the left here reminds me of Pavo Siljamaki.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. That's one, I think. Probably. Boom. All right. Another Zine. Now he's pretty classic too. Really localized G. You can totally see it, but he has wide cheeks. Those are wide cheeks.
Wide cheeks, yeah. Wide sheer cheeks, yeah. You can see the sheerness of them, but they do go kind of far out. Man, the localized mouth, that's it really pops, you
It
know.
does.
How like there's
It's
this
great. I'm sorry, you're saying it, Adymus?
I was just saying how that the cheeks form like a really big canvas, just a really big sheet, but then the mouth is just boop right there, right at the bottom. Yeah.
I think he'd be a really good sample if a person wanted to tell apart, you know, say Zine from Nizai, or like, do they all? Is it just the broad cheeks? No, even a broad cheek Zine. There are such a thing as broad cheek Zine, but
Mhm.
that's Polar J with it.
Yeah. He's still long too, you know, broad
Yes,
cheeks, but like you can see in the entire head, you can see it's still long, has the tower head quality.
it does. It does. The way it sits in the neck too.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that the gatherers tend to be, their head, it's looser than directives are, but it still tends to rest directly above the neck. The towers tends to almost always be like slightly tilted to one a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same way there's those broken lines more so in the wrists and the shoulders than there are with the gatherers.
Mm-hmm.
It's neat. You know what's interesting? How it changes. And that one dude who is rocking the sort of the terrorist look, um, in a cool way. I meant that like, you know, cool like action movie way.
Right, right. Like the super smart terrorist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess I can turn it off now. Is when they actually do put their neck totally on the axis, I think they have to use their vi for that. It brings in this real like predatory
Mm-hmm.
kind of energy when they
Yeah.
do it. He did. His neck was very erect, right over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it gave it a different look. Very cool. All right, Amos. That's pretty much what we had there. But if you have time, I have a few clips to show you if you want.
Sure, let's do that.
All right. So most of these have to do with touching back to the comedy bubble. One is, see here. Did you see, maybe I saw it, the SNL skit with Peter Dinklage and this female comedian from SNL on Naked and Afraid?
I can already tell you now.
All right, so hopefully it'll happen here. Naked and Afraid. There it is. Oh, cool.
I think I agreed to do the show because I like to test my limits. You are before the challenge, a team of experts gave Peter.
I love the Naked and Afraid has gotten this much pop culture coin.
Yeah.
Naked and Afraid combined with Game of Thrones. Oh goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Initial PSR of 5.7 for surviving conflict. For the 21-day challenge, Peter and Leslie were each allowed to bring one survival item.
Man, tell me you brought something good. Yeah, I brought a fire starter kit. You know. Nice, but I got you beat. French bread. Hot sauce. We were supposed to bring something to survive with. Hey, this is a survival item, okay? I put this on everything. Don't start with me on day one, Tyrion.
She knows my name isn't Tyrion. I've told her several times. Call me Peter.
Peter is a whiny bitch. Okay? Do you know he's a vegetarian? Always been keeping his meat.
They gotta get some celebrities to really go on Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
It's like, you don't want this? Dumb up.
With nighttime approaching, Peter and Leslie must build a shelter to protect them.
I'm pretty sure she's G Alpha. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm leaning towards G9, but I'm seeing.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you build us a big old bed too.
Real horn dog. Serious. How is there not an open sexual harassment case against I can't believe it.
That's what a woman's on.
Oh.
After 12 days of only eating leaves, tensions rise. The woman's completely insane. All she does is talk about keeping it real.
I keep it real, yo. I keep it. That's right, because it's real.
After surviving 21 days in the wild, Peter and Leslie finally made it to
What's
the
that?
extraction point. Leslie's PSR lowered by
Oh, I didn't say anything. Sorry.
shows no drug policy and her several attempts to eat her partner.
That you tasty morsel.
Oh.
However, Peter's PSR level rose 3 points after surviving 21 days with Leslie, a feat no man has ever achieved. Well, we survived.
We made it together, you know?
I'm actually gonna miss you.
Oh, come here, man. Give me a hug. Come on. I love you, Terry.
Peter.
It's so wrong. So there was that. Still, I know, but it was kind of funny. The other one was, real quick, we could look at Nikki Limo and see what her dude is.
Okay.
See how I do it. Because he shows up in several videos. I don't know if I see one with him in it. That's weird. All right. Well, we couldn't find that one, but I'll take a look later. How can we maybe just screen share it? Oh, maybe I'll start the broadcast. I'll start the broadcast now, and then we'll.
Okay.
All right. Bye, world.
Bye, everyone.